Hello everyone, welcome to the IQA Quidditch World Cup live stream. Up next we have a rematch, as it were, of Canada and Norway. The last time these two teams met up was in pool play on day one. Canada squeaking by with a snitch catch. They were up 10 when the snitch came on pitch. It was a tough match for both teams. So both teams here clearly are going to be hungry to prove themselves, see if they can, get the win this time. Rematches are always fun, bit of a grudge match kind of feel going in. So Canada, looking to win here, had a bit of more of a disappointing start than they would have wanted earlier in the day. But Norway and Canada both worked their way up to here, trying to play their best game. Coming up, we have our commentators in the booth, Josh Summers, Willow Rosenberg. I'm going to hand it over to them as this game is about to get underway.
Hello and welcome. Thanks, Raj, for introducing us and a brief history of what's been going on between these two teams at this tournament so far. Getting a nice friendly handshake to start things off. In case you don't know me by my voice, I'm Willow Rosenberg.
And my name is Joshua Summers.
And we'll be bringing you completely unbiased commentary here from two Canadians for this Canada-Norway game.
Should be a fun matchup, having both teams having played each other on day one. Canada up by 10 before the snitch catch. It was quite a entertaining and physical game.
Yeah, both teams have been, Canada's been around for quite a bit longer than Norway, but Norway, a up-and-coming strong team in Europe.
So both teams prepping before brooms up. Canada already on the field.
Norway keeper on the field. The rest of them seem to have abandoned him.
So Canada seems to be going with the line of Karen Douglas, Joel
last name.
Joel Martins, Andrew Custers, Lyndon Evers, Raphael Ralois, and Tyson Warwell, while Norway seems to be going with the lineup of...
This one's going to be harder because you don't know people by face. Francisco Jury, Ulrich Olsen, We've got number 1,
Francesca,
number 55, number facing the wrong way. It's a very common number, facing the wrong way.
Norway seems to be a bit confused.
Oh, they don't have enough brooms for a starting lineup. That's somewhat unhelpful. Did you get number 6 already? And number 7?
Number 7 is Metal Sundal. Mate Sundal. Is that how you pronounce it?
And number 6, Amund.
Yep. And then Jürgen Starlick.
Yes.
Number 42 is captain.
Not actually starting.
No.
This is probably the two teams that are northernmost in the world that are here this weekend. I think Norway's further north than Finland. I don't actually know.
They are indeed.
Okay, well there you go. It's hard to remember which one is which in the Scandinavian peninsula.
Getting ready for brooms up.
Refs, we have Chula, and a few other people who I don't recognize. And Toby, who ran over to the gameplay table to ask them for something.
Game should start any minute now.
that was the issue. They were short a bludger. It's difficult to start a game without all of the balls.
How can one maintain bludger superiority when there's only 2 bludgers?
Well, you could have both of them. Then the other team would be...
Quite a sticky situation.
Yes, they would be not happy. There was a phrase I was going to use, but it's swearing, and I shouldn't say swears.
It's A-okay.
Toby testing out his whistle. Toby's a fantastic HR from the US.
We all thank Toby for traveling as far as he did.
Yeah, and you'll see some incredible ref positioning from Toby especially.
Toby March.
Yeah, his positioning is some of the best I ever see. Gets right up in there. Canada with quaffle possession.
And Norway seems to have gotten bludger control.
Yeah. And
The reset.
oh, big
and a
pass
missed
over to
catch,
Joel, but misses.
Norway recovers.
And
Number 7 on Norway misses their beat and is running off pitch. And now Norway is employing the slow ball strategy, which seemed to work so effectively for Spain against Canada.
I've noticed that Canada uses a brooms up strategy of having certain people on who are really fast on that first break, get the balls, and then immediately sub. It's
I was informed previously by their coach that they essentially have 3 lines. They have their speed line,
okay.
what they call their body line, and then their smart line.
Okay. Body
So-
line, I'm assuming, is physical.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then the smart line are all the players who are able to read and react the quickest.
Right. So they have their speed line off brooms up,
Yep.
and then switch immediately to smart, I would guess.
Number 1 with Norway with the break. And what a nice
Beautiful
tackle
takedown.
by Lyndon Evers on Team Canada.
And Karen with the ball. Passes back to the keeper for Canada to set up an attack.
Norway with bludger control.
Maybe, depending on who's faster at running back. Yep. Manages to keep. Oh, yeah. Raf
Canada
managing to
recovers.
get all 3 bludgers into the Canadian end.
Is the goal good?
The goal's no good. Looks like he lost his broom before releasing the ball. But
So Andrew Custers, number 18 for Canada, being the one who threw it through the hoop.
no good. Looks like
Goal has been waved off for motion after the beat.
after the beat.
Or is that
there's
what the call is?
There's no bludgers anywhere. No, all the bludgers are over there.
What is the call?
No, his broom just came out from between
Broom.
his legs.
Okay.
So it's equivalent to after a beat. It was just, you know.
And Canada scores.
They managed to recover from that lost goal and score. The score now 10-0 to Canada, first on the board. And Norway setting it up with their keeper. Their offense already deep into Canada's zone while their keeper's back in the...
Number 7, Olsen with the quaffle. Looks for positioning, drives. Canada stifles. And the goal is good for Norway.
Very nice return. We now have beater Lisa Tietz. I'm butchering that. I'm sorry. Tietze. Yes. From NTNUI Rumpeldunk. Norway is one of the only translations of the Harry Potter
The
books
goal is
that
no good for Canada.
changed the name of Quidditch to a different word. Most places just used the word Quidditch because it was made up at the time.
An incredible tackle.
Beautiful
by-
tackle and beat.
But Norway keeps quaffle. Oh,
Looks like we have a delayed penalty, possibly. So in the Norwegian version of Harry Potter, Quidditch is called Rumpeldunk
why is that? Do we know?
because they decided that that was... Oh, we've got a replay, and then I'll finish the story. replay of this tackle, I think. Yeah, beautiful tackle. And then the beater coming in and hitting them after. So yeah, in most languages, they just kept the word Quidditch as Quidditch. But in Norwegian, for whatever reason, the translator decided to come up with a new word and called it rumpeldunk. And so Quidditch Norway is the Norwegian Rumpeldunk Association.
Norwegian Quidditch is an interesting thing.
Yes. Norway is an interesting place. We had the European Games last year in Oslo, Norway. Got to meet a lot of the Norwegian players and hosted a really fun tournament out there. We had a yellow card there for someone. Canada, looks like.
Yep.
Was that Chris? Was Chris naughty? It was Chris 36.
Chris Radiowski.
Nope.
They have not announced it.
It was a yellow card for something.
It looked like it might have been contact from behind. The missed beat by Canada and the drive by Norway. And the goal is good!
That's too bad. That missed beat letting the beautiful
That missed beat
attack
created the lane for Norway to take the lead in this game, to tie it up.
Jacob Lenz with a beautiful attack there, scoring for Norway. Taking the lead now. The score now 20-10. That's a very tall beater for Team Canada.
That is Jonathan Gola, who played for Valhalla, who actually
yeah.
won the national championship. And Canada takes the lead.
Nope.
Ties it up.
Ties it up.
And Canada keeps bludger control.
Valhalla, the Toronto community team. It's been around for ages. Oh, it's too bad. Going for that beat
And
on
the
the
interception
feet and missing.
by Canada.
Beautiful
fast break.
sprint from Joel here.
But is
But
stifled at the
misses.
hoops by Norway.
Oh, that was a beautiful save. Beautiful save from number 7, the keeper for Norway.
Olsen.
Mate. With a beautiful save for Norway.
Norway looking for openings, using their beater, trying to create opportunities.
Canada going to beat oh no, there was a quaffle pass to a chaser who had already been beat and was off broom. And they dodged the ball instead of getting hit by it, which is very nice of them. I really like this.
Canada running the 1.5.
Yes, known in Europe as a napalm, where you leave one of the bludgers back at your hoops.
But Norway recovers.
Canada just not getting it through the hoop here. Some great attacks, but Norway's defense just shutting them down every time.
Getting right at the hoops, but not able to complete those opportunities. Thanks to Norway's great defense today.
I really like this small Canadian beater, number 2, Nina.
Nina Petit.
Yeah.
Is their name?
Her pigtails make her look so fierce. It's amazing.
And stoppage of play. Call for turnover to Canada.
Yeah, that was...
And another stoppage of play here.
Nina was naughty.
And another quaffle turnover.
Oh? Okay, Nina wasn't naughty. What was this quaffle turnover for?
Not 100%.
I guess Nina's getting it back to hoops for that tackle.
Yeah, it looks like it might have been, she didn't let go, she didn't release her tackle in time.
That was interesting. Yeah. Nina forgot to tap back into the hoops before picking up that bludger.
The skip pass by Norway.
We have a delayed penalty against Canada again, and a brooms down is called.
We'll find out here from the referee just what the call
Canadian keeper, Itana Crow, very confused, also from Toronto Valhalla. Not to be confused with the Norwegian Valhalla, which is a fake place and part of Norse mythology.
One of the inspirations for this Canadian team.
I would assume most things called Valhalla would be named after the place where fallen warriors go to await Ragnarok.
Never know these days. Or no. What was the call there? I didn't hear that properly.
Nina Patti gets a blue card for illegal procedure, interaction with play while beat. I believe for picking up that bludger without tapping back in.
Well, Canada keeps the quaffle.
It was a blue. Blue card in the bludger play, so no quaffle turnover. Canada resetting back to their keeper zone to put on their power play killing, their penalty killing line, I'm guessing.
Looks like it. Matt Barassa subbing in.
Norway hoping to use this minute, get the quaffle back, and score some points.
Canada slowing it down, trying to kill off the penalty as much as they can.
If they can successfully keep quaffle control for...
And Canada scores and takes the lead.
Or just score while a beater down. You can do that too. I mean...
That's incredible.
I think they faked Norway out there, looking like they were just going to slow ball and kill that penalty, and then saw the opportunity and opened it up. And Norway, despite having bludger control guaranteed with Canada only with one beater, still
and
wasn't
Norway
able to
ties
stop
it up.
that
Oh, Norway
shot.
ties it up.
Norway ties it up, and the penalty is over, and Canada replacing everyone on the field. The score now 30 all.
30 all.
It will be updated on your screens in a moment.
The misbeat by Norway and the incredible catch, but Canada scores anyways.
Beautiful goal there for number 57.
Brock Lowry.
And the setup, I couldn't see who gave the assist there, but now number 1, Olsen with the quaffle for Norway.
Ulrik Olsen.
Ulrik Olsen. I may have accidentally called them number 7 earlier. Their 1 has a serif at the top that looks kind of like a 7 to me.
The tackle by Canada.
Almost another tackle by Canada. Long beat by Raff
turnover
for Canada.
But the misplay by Canada.
Beautiful. That's what you have to
still be
do
able
in
to
that
score?
beater play.
And Canada scores once again.
Very nice, Canada. Let's see if they can stop the fast break from Norway on the return here. Some beautiful beater play going on during that that play on both sides.
Raphael Ralois knocking the bludger right out of Norway's beater's hands.
Going and grabbing it, but comes in and gets hit by the other beater.
Norway biding their time, trying to wait for their beaters. And the quaffle back to Ulrik Olsen.
The Norwegian beaters just beating out literally everyone on Canada.
And the interception by Canada.
Canada number 57 on the attack, but gets beat
the stifle
right on
by
the keeper
Norwegian
line.
beater.
Raff back, yep. Norwegian Mate.
The tackle by Robin Fortune of Team Canada.
Norwegian Martin Beyer telling Ulrich to slow down and not attack Raff on defense there.
And the reset by
decision.
Norway.
Yeah, slowing it down instead of trying to power through Canada's best beater.
Gather themselves, prepare for the next point of attack. And the incredible catch by the Norwegian beater, number 13.
Beautiful
And the drive
beat
and
right
score by
after.
Norway. 50-40 now.
That goal should go to number 13, the beater.
Created
Beautiful catch, beautiful beat immediately after, opening up that pathway for the chaser to come in and score. Score now 50-40 for Canada. Here about 10 minutes into the game.
Number 13 beats out the beater for Team Canada.
Chris Rajewski.
And the goal is no good. The hoop was missed. And hard boundary. Quaffle turnover.
And we have rooms down. Oh.
And a water break is called by the head ref.
And the ref has called a timeout. Yeah, it's a ref timeout. It's a new addition because it's
Replay
stupid
incoming.
hot out here. So in the meantime, before I start waffling about refs, let's look at this replay of what? Looks like we're getting a replay of a Norwegian fast break goal there. Very nice. I think that was the last goal that we just saw where the beater cleared the path. So yes, the ref, Toby Marsh, calling ref timeout. Refs get as many timeouts as they deem necessary because it is
incredibly hot here in Florence.
Approximately 35 degrees with 40 to 50% humidity and not a cloud in the sky. It is incredibly hot and the players need water.
And this is a new addition for World Cup, the IQA Quidditch World Cup here in 2018. And play is about to be resumed.
Each team gets to have their own timeout. Each team can call one 1-minute timeout as long as it's before the Snitch has been released at 17 minutes. But at the ref's discretion, they can stop play for health and safety reasons.
So Norway keeps the quaffle due to having the quaffle gone past the hard boundary.
Yep, and Norwegian beater on their way back, just
taking complete control.
Knocking out all of the Canadian chasers who were in any sort of defensive position beyond their keeper line.
Norway marching up down the field. And the beat is missed by Team Canada.
That's too bad. Ulrich again hoping for that beater to...
By Canada once more.
Beater
and recovered by Norway.
Beating the quaffle back to their chaser. Number 8, Mata.
A wall is created. And the goal is good by Norway.
That was
8.
Unlucky for number 14. Couldn't get control of the quaffle in that tackle and couldn't take Mata down. Mata just scoring over top of her.
And now we have a tie game at 50-50.
I'm not who's the Canadian chaser who just attempted that? I can't see her number from here. Number 11?
Number 11?
I think?
Yeah.
No. Must be 14. Chris going for the pass.
And the goal
Beautiful.
by Canada by number 14, Robin Fortune, who plays
That's
for
whose
McGill.
name I was looking for.
Who plays for McGill University, one of Canada's oldest Quidditch teams.
Isn't it the oldest Quidditch team?
It is the original Quidditch team in Canada.
The score now 60-50. Still anybody's game here.
And the recovery by Norway.
Norwegian chaser number 20.
Immense pressure being put by Team Canada at the point.
Beautiful, beautiful pass there from Stina, chaser number 20, across the back of the hoops to number 29, whose name I'm going to look up right now. Raul
Lopez Sanchez.
The beautiful positioning right behind the tallest hoop.
And Norway now has the lead.
No, it's
tied.
tied.
It's tied.
It's tied 60-60.
My mistake there. And then beautiful beat by Norway.
Norway dominating bludger control in this game, which I wasn't expecting.
And
that.
the fast break
Beautiful.
in the dodge by Team Canada.
Oh.
But the beat before the goal, what an incredible beat by number 7 for Team Norway.
Incredible beat.
Saves the 1-0 fast break from out of nowhere.
Incredible beat from Mate Sindal from halfway across the pitch.
Right as she was
about
subbing
to
off.
sub off, turned around and made the beat instead.
What a play. And the goal is good.
Goal from Jürgen, number 42, keeper for Norway. Canada calling for their timeout. Technically calling it a little bit early. The keeper needed to have the ball in the keeper zone before the timeout was called, but the only situation that was going to happen at that point was the keeper was going to get the ball with immunity, so it didn't matter. We've got a replay of that last goal, the long shot from, oh no, we've got a replay of the long break from Joel and the beautiful beat.
The sub beat.
Got it coming again here. Can see Mate turning around from that substitution and going and beating Joel from halfway across the pitch. Beautiful work.
One of the most beautiful beats I've ever seen in my lifetime.
It shows some really good communication too with the Norwegian bench and the players, because Mate couldn't possibly have seen what was happening behind her when she was trying to sub, but trusted her teammates. Instead of subbing, turned around and made the beat.
If they weren't prepared, if they didn't make that beat, it was for sure a goal for Canada with a 1-0.
Yeah, there was no way Joel wasn't going to make that goal.
So play is about to resume. Canada keeping the Canada having the quaffle.
Oh, that was just a timeout is over whistle. Never mind.
Score is 60-70 for Norway. And play is resumed.
We're at about 14 minutes and 10 seconds gameplay. Just 3 minutes until the Snitch is on pitch.
Game is still in Snitch range. And the goal has gone through the hoops, but there seems to be a bit of communication.
It was definitely a goal. We will see whether or not they counted as beat before.
We will watch the
bludger was released before. It's called good, yeah.
And the goal has been called good by the referee crew.
And our replay confirms that. Definitely good.
So Canada ties it up there, 70-70.
This has been a very good game.
A tight and intense game by both teams.
Oh, that was too bad.
Number 13, the beater for Norway, has been playing incredible for Norway this game. Creating so many. Merlin from Norway has
been the beater coach for Norway.
Been playing incredible, completely dominating Team Canada. Keeping Norway in this game.
Nina Patti trying her darndest to tackle Merlin, but just could not do it.
And another stoppage in play is called here.
Looks like there's a question of whether or not Merlin released the quaffle before it, or released the bludger, sorry, before it touched the quaffle.
And
you can throw a bludger at the quaffle to move it, but you can't use a bludger you're holding to do that.
And the goal
Canada,
is no good by Norway. The recovery.
recovering and passing it to the keeper. Norway just not quite able to get it through the hoop. The Snitch warming up, doing some sprints in behind the Canadian bench.
We are at 15 minutes, 40 seconds. We are so close for the Snitch coming on pitch.
Can't tell if either team is gonna try and pull ahead and get out of range, or if they're just happy to keep. Oh, so close on that SWAT attack from Barasa.
And the goal missed. The hoop was missed.
No good.
And the hits the
Third
post.
try, not
and
good
the beat
enough.
by Norway.
Canada just can't get the ball through the hoop.
The scramble by both teams, and Canada recovers. Seems to be a bit of a scrum, waiting all the beaters to show up.
A beautiful play there from Matt Barasa. Just covering the quaffle, letting the beaters come in, get rid of the Norwegian chasers so he can pass it to his keeper and take control and set up an attack. Seekers have been called, so we're at 16. Yep. Looks like the Snitch will be released in the next few seconds.
And Canada's beater deep in the Norwegian zone. Pass, Matt Barasa passes
Canada
to
looking
James
for an
Newman.
opening. Beaters also looking to get back bludger control before Snitch on pitch. Having two bludgers.
And the block by Norway. Norway's defense has been incredible this game.
Incredible defense. I think right now the priority for both teams is to get both bludgers. Get two bludgers. They've got 1 minute before the Seekers are released, and having two bludgers is a huge advantage once that happens. Snitch just seeing if he can jump over literally everyone on the pitch.
The rate this game has been going, whichever team has bludger control when Seekers are released
is probably going to win. Yeah, absolutely. Unless the other team can take that as take an advantage of lack of bludgers in the chaser game and score some points, get out of range.
And Norway gets bludger control. And Ulrich Olsen passes off to Elizabeth Yerstad.
Canadian Seeker beat immediately off the line. But Graf protecting the Snitch.
And the goal is good for Norway.
Norway now 80-70.
Snitch is on pitch. Seekers released. Sick catch by Raphael Ralora of Team Canada, but is unable to recover bludger control off that.
Alex Naftal, the Seeker for Team Canada, and
Canada scores and ties it up.
Hannah Gross, the Hannah Gross, number 55, the Seeker for Team Norway. Goal called no good. Player was beat before, so the score is still 80-70 for Norway. All of the beaters on the quaffle game. The Snitch can move on brooms down under IQA rules. But this Snitch seems uninterested in running away from the Seekers.
Team Canada's Raphael Roileral facing both Norwegian beaters. Oh,
Beautiful.
And the catch!
Beautiful pass back. Canada, Raphael successfully gaining bludger control back for their team.
What incredible beater play by Canada.
And looking to use this time alone with the Snitch to get that catch. Oh!
And the catch by Alex Naftel.
Beautiful catch. Beautiful catch. Looked good from here. Do we have a replay of that? All right, we've got a replay coming in right here. That catch. Keeping control of his broom. Snitch trying to steal it. Unsuccessful, and instead just dive around, grabs it right away. Beautiful catch. And that's the game.
And Canada wins.
Canada has won. The final score
100 to 80.
100 to 80. Thank you for doing the arithmetic.
Canada beating Norway for the second time this tournament.
Norway understandably upset, but they played an incredible game.
Both teams played amazing.
You
You can't be disappointed about that one.
No, this was a very close game, very well played by both teams.
Two teams evenly matched.
Some incredible Quidditch here. And we're going to get our analyst booth set up in a moment.
And we will pass that off once they are ready.
Yeah, in the meantime, you can see the hug line. Everyone gets a hug because...
What an incredible game that was. Both teams clearly respect each other after such a hard-fought game.
And it was also a clean game. You know, it was, neither team started playing dirty. No one was going for ugly tackles or aggressive, unnecessary face beats from point-blank range. It was very clean, very well played. The beater game was incredible from both teams.
Both teams employing amazing sets of beaters.
Yeah, Raf for Team Canada played incredible, and
Merlin Zimmerman of Norway.
Absolutely.
Both
Just
dominated beater play for their respective clubs.
So our analyst booth is going to have Suraj, Monique, and I can't remember his name.
And we will now pass that off to
Mark?
Right.
Mark, also known as can't remember his name. In the meantime, I'm Willow Rosenberg.
And I'm Joshua Summers.
We'll see you next time.
Thank you, guys. What a great game that was. Really intense, especially at the end.
Absolutely.
So, where do you guys want to start there?
Wow, yeah, super intense beater play, both sides. It felt really even. It felt, for the most of it, maybe Norway was slightly ahead. The combination of Metu and Stein. Yep.
Their whole beater call was really good.
Yeah.
Number 6, number 30, number 24. Really good plays from all of them, to be fair.
As well as number 2, what was her name? Patty. Was it Patty? From Canada?
Oh, Nina.
Yeah, Nina
Fantastic.
Patty. She put in a really good,
fantastic effort.
good run.
Gala had more amazing catches. I felt like he had a bit more impact yesterday, but especially at the start of the game, he's having a bit of trouble making an impact. But later on, he got into his stride a little bit, and again, amazing catches.
Yes. Like you were saying, Norway, I believe, had possession, bludger superiority for the most of that game, I would say so.
It's pretty even.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I felt like Norway were a bit stronger with the bludgers.
Yeah.
With the quaffle, it was very even.
Yeah.
Big drives from both sides. Norway had a lot of really good defense in quaffle.
Yes.
Really held up. And of course, the Canadians did as well. Fantastic work.
I would say I felt like the Canadians had possession a little bit more, because I felt that the Norwegians were really good at shutting down attacks when they didn't have control. I felt like it was an interesting game. So to me, Canada were missing quite a few opportunities, especially early on, whereas Norway was more clinical, like finishing on the fast break a lot more often, especially in the early part of the game. But they managed to hold it in range, which was absolutely key, and then their seeker bubble, so the two beaters both focusing on the Snitch, was so strong, and Norway really couldn't break through in the critical part of the match.
Yeah, that's really the key, is that Norway, even though they felt dominant They on pitch it felt dominant, but they weren't able to pull ahead on the scoreboard. And then, of course, their dominance faltered a tiny bit right at the end, where it was most important in the Snitch play. Canada happened to have bludger control when that started, and they managed to maintain bludger control, and they were the only ones who got runs on the Snitch.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, also some really nice hits from both teams, really nice tackling in both parts of the game.
Yep, definitely. And some great shots.
Yeah.
Some great shots that just came from nowhere.
Yeah.
There was one where it was there was a fast break from Canada. They picked up the quaffle, sprinted down the pitch. The Norwegian beater, who's in front of the quaffle now, spins and pegs the ball, just misses him. This guy is running, looking side to side. He's away, he knows it. And then the corner of his eye, this beater's coming out the sub box, pegs it, hits him in the foot.
That was Mete, amazing pitch awareness.
That was
on that
so
beat.
good.
It was, yeah.
And then after that defense, the Norwegians turn around, launch an attack, and the quaffle carrier just pings it from about maybe 2 times keeper zone away, halfway between keeper zone and midfield. He starts there, takes a few steps in, and just pegs it and just scores from there. Pair of great shots back to back.
What I loved was the way Norway kept their chins up, because I think they were being outplayed early on. So like I said, Canada had more chances, but they didn't convert on them. And they were also outplaying the beaters a little bit. But the beaters kept cycling through very quickly, keeping fresh legs. And then they were able to kind of get the measure of the Canadian beaters during the mid part of the game.
Yeah.
How do you feel like the timeout there played for Canada? Because when the timeout was called, it seemed like Norway was celebrating. They were just cheering on the pitch. They didn't seem like they needed much of a pep talk, because the momentum was shifting back towards their favor, at least.
Do you mean the ref one?
After the ref one, I believe Canada called a timeout.
Okay.
Yeah, there were two
there was a ref water break. Canada called a timeout because the score wasn't running away from them, but it was just getting, I guess, a little too close for comfort for the Canadian coach there. The momentum just starting to swing in the favor of the Norwegians. Because they seemed comfortable at the break. It's the other team's timeout. They're cheering. They said, keep up what you're doing.
Yeah.
And then after that, do you think the momentum switched at all?
To me, that's a very effective use of an example of an effective use of a timeout to break the opponent's momentum.
Yeah.
And I think maybe what they did was just a subtle focus in making sure they retain the bludgers before Snitch on pitch, because that was the deciding factor of the game.
Yeah, I agree. I think that was a really good use of timeout, and I think there wasn't like a massive momentum shift, but there was quite a subtle, as you say, a subtle little difference. It was no longer Norway felt dominant, it was now quite even, and Canada had the bludgers at the right time.
Yeah, and these two teams played each other on day one to a similar result. It was neck and neck the whole way through, Snitch on pitch, Canada with the grab. I mean, as a Canadian, great feeling. Not biased at all. So do you think the teams look different at all today compared to, at least on the scoreboard, similar, but would the teams basically have a similar play style going in?
I wouldn't say too many differences. What I admire about Canada is they will have been so disappointed to lose their first upper bracket game. That was a big upset for them as a former top 4 team. But they really held it together and they pulled out a clutch victory here. It's been so easy to feel downcast and stuff when you're down in the snowboard or having a tight game when you've already lost. But they managed to keep their chins up, keep focus and pull out the win.
Yeah, I agree. I thought Canada yesterday looked very strong physically in the chaser line. I saw them have what felt like less of an impact in that chaser line.
On the physical side?
Yeah, on the physical side, yeah. Which is a bit, it's a bit disappointing. But like, they're all tired. They might have had some injuries, I think they had a little bit better. They did well with moving the ball around the hoops on offense. Like, it felt like they relied a little bit more on that style of game than just using physicality, which is great. I felt like their physicality was a little bit less effective, but maybe that's just a shift in tone.
Any final points you want to go in before I ask you who your standout players were for the teams?
No, I'm good. I'm happy.
Yeah, no.
Who stood out for you the most on Norway and on Canada?
I was very impressed by number 1, Olsen, the Norwegian keeper. Not as strong on offense, but some absolutely fantastic defense.
Yeah, I wouldn't say not strong.
I said not as strong.
I would say, like strong defense. Like that would be the focus. Yeah, really good defense. And I think Amund, I believe it was, the Norwegian beater as well as Mete. Fantastic. He played for a lot of the game. He maintained his energy through a lot of it, even though this is late in the tournament, and played a really aggressive game. Fantastic work.
And I'd say to Nina Patti as
Yes.
well. Like, yeah, she really was great aggression. Lovely player to watch.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Also, Gala's catches were
Always
wicked.
a favorite to watch. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for talking about this game. That was Canada versus Norway here at the IQA World Cup. Stay tuned. There's more great games coming up after this.